and guests. Tonight I'm going to talk about Michigan Avenue Toastmasters. I remember when I first joined 5 years ago, I finally got the nerve to do my icebreaker. And I remember I was so nervous I could barely get through 4 minutes of speaking, and I was running out of things to say. And one of the veterans in front, he asked me a few questions to keep the speech going. Now back then, what made Michigan Avenue one of the top clubs in the country was a number of things. We had veterans that were there for 10 or 15 years. So the club had a rich history, and it also had very experienced members, just like this club. We also had a lot of events. It was a large club of 30 or 40 people. For July 4th barbecue, we had maybe 60 people, not only current members, but members from way back when. So it just had a rich history that really you felt when you went to Michigan Avenue. But we also had a lot of good new members. I remember shortly after I joined, one of our new members was Pres Vasily. He was a young Bulgarian, he had an accent. And I think I did one of his first evaluations, and he said, "John, there's certain words I have trouble speaking because, I have this thick accent. So I want you to watch these words and make sure I pronounce them perfectly." And as some of you know, Pres went on to win the World Championship of Public Speaking. This is over 100 different countries. We had other great new members like Ying Manin. He was kind of from the neighborhood, but he was a diamond in the rough, and he's won speech titles as well. So the club was firing on all cylinders, and I was proud to be a member of what really was one of the top Toastmaster clubs in the country. And then dissension hit. The board, every Toastmaster has a board of 6 or 7 members that take different roles. And something was going on, secretive, that we didn't know what it was. But before we knew it, the club was split in two. Half the board members had wanted to make the club more of a private networking club. So basically the club split in two. Now also, the ones that stayed with Michigan Avenue, a lot of our veterans had moved away. So in a matter of a few weeks, we went from being one of the top clubs to a club basically had to start over. We can see here tonight we have 6 people. What if Tim dropped out? What if Ken dropped out? What if it was just a few of us? We would have to start over we did. So our first president was a nice fellow from Detroit. His name was Tom. And slowly the club started over again, but many nights we would only have 1 or 2 speakers. A good Toastmaster group is going to have 4 speeches, 4 evaluations. It's going to be a great meeting. But a lot of Toastmaster groups aren't. So we would have 1 or 2 speakers, and then he had to go away. And then we had a couple young presidents, Ying Manin and another guy, Vincent. And slowly the club started advertising on Meetup. So we started getting a lot of young members, a few more speeches, but still the club hadn't gelled yet because we had lost this history. And I often wondered, is Michigan Avenue, are we really going to be one of the top clubs again? And then we had to move from our hotel, the Drake Hotel. And at that point, as we were looking for another spot, a place cheaper, I was actually told Sridhar, who was the new president, I was like, I don't know, maybe we should just forget about it. This Michigan Avenue, I don't know if we're ever going to be at the top club anymore. But we found a place at the Intercontinental, and as Sridhar took over our presidency, the club really started to come full circle. We started getting more new members, and we started developing a history of our own. I was now a 5 or 6 year member. Ying was a 5-year member. Don had been there 6 or 7. So we were starting to have our share of veterans. And we also concentrated on trying to do 3 or 4 speeches a night, 3 or 4 evaluations, have the members participate. And we also started trying to do more events as well, having speakers come in, having barbecues, where the members can have fun and socialize as well. Because these are all, as we know from Extreme, what makes a club great. By the way, Extreme is one of the top clubs too, not just Michigan Avenue. So in closing, I think what's made Michigan Avenue just one of the top clubs, and also Extreme, I think Michigan Avenue just because of the location. It's Michigan Avenue in the city of Chicago. Some of us take it for granted. My brother lives in Springfield, Massachusetts, and he said, John, I want to join a Toastmaster, but it's like, maybe they do one speech and the meeting's a half hour and there's no big clubs. But Chicago, probably in our club at any given night, we're going to have members from India, China, South America. And they're all drawn to Chicago to develop their professional career. And they're also ambitious in performing better as public speakers. So we really draw to Chicago and Michigan Avenue Club because we're the only club on Michigan Avenue. We just get the best of both worlds. And this is what has turned out great speakers like Press Vasily and some others. So these are thoughts that had crossed through my mind when I was thinking about Michigan Avenue. It seemed like kind of a silly speech to do, but I also thought it was an interesting speech just because a Toastmaster group is what you make it. And the fact that we are in Chicago gives us the opportunity to really have elite speakers, world-class speakers. And what I also love about Michigan Avenue, the fact that the other club, and Toastmasters as well, the fact that the other club became a private club, where Michigan Avenue, this just like this club, anyone could walk in off the street, pay your $100 or $200, join these elite speakers, learn as much as you want, and really the sky is limitless to develop your talents to the best of your ability. So that's what I like about it the most, but you're all welcome to visit us. We even have girls at Michigan Avenue. But you're all welcome to visit, and I hope you've learned a little bit more about Michigan Avenue Toastmasters. Thank you.